We should be on. Are we on? Let's do a quick opera search. Because I'm funky like that. We seem to be. Hello everybody, good evening, welcome along to UCR Round 1. Yes, we're doing Round 1 again. For those that may not be as uniquely aware to the situation that happened last week, I think is probably the best way to leave it at, is that due to technical difficulties, because, well, I don't think the Circuit of America likes UCR, we are going to be having a round one, a Kota replay, but at Portimao at the end of the season as a finale. So welcome to the first proper hope race, hopefully, and the first sprint weekend of season 4. Yes, we're at Monza, the brilliant circuit that is here in Northern Italy. We'll go over the track once one-shot qualifying is over. For context as well, format is going to be one-shot quali, 100% a sprint, which is 18 laps, be about half an hour, a little bit of a break, and then a one-shot quali again for the race, and we go for 53. So that is what the format is going to be for tonight. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everybody's going to stay and enjoy. We've got the countdown already for the first qualifying session as well. My name's Casper, happy to be along with you as always. Kieran, again, is working. So unfortunately, he's not here, but I am assured he will be back for next week. So we'll be all okay on that front. 6 to go before we get underway here in Monza. As I have a little swig out of a drinks bottle. 17 drivers. Let's pop all of this on. We're looking on board with Scartrix to start qualifying. We're on board. Let's pop the telemetry on as we go rolling down towards turn 1. It's a very long run towards the first corner, especially after starting the race. Back end loose into the Retfilia chicane at 1 and 2. Good exit though. In 9th place at the moment is the ERC man, obviously I believe current managers champion on a Wednesday night, through Curva Grande and up to the Del Roger, braking just after the 100 board. Difficult to make an overtake, but not impossible. We'll go over the track as a whole in just a second. Into the Lesmo. Finn's disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location. He's going to be starting at the back as he often does. Through Lesmo 2 and again down the back straight under the old banking here, and into, I think, my favourite bit of this circuit, into a Sky. It's a left chicane that is really high speed, bottom out at 130 there. Does the Haas, was still on board, and that was a long run down to Parabolica slash Curva Alboreto slash whatever you want to call it really, as just after the 50, then cut in a little bit, go wide, cut back again to make it the shortest possible line. Vapid looks like he's got pole position, so 20.013 for the Aston Martin. Callum second, Scar third, and Jam third, Scar fourth, and Jamie in 5th place to round out your top 5. Great stuff. Well done, Scar, for finishing the lap. Love that from you. 4 Brits in the top 5. Well, 4 Englishmen likely in the top 5. Got the Scotsman flying the flag high. And then Angelo 6th, Nick Fury 7th, Alex 8th, Creek 9th, and Small Girl 10th. Creto Lord Joker, your Robbie in 14th with Finn's, Gary, Rookie, and Inside starting behind them in some sort of order, but it's saying from 17th to 20th. There's nobody 14, 15, 16. I don't know. We'll find out what the grid is in just a second as we go for 18 laps. Let's go anyway. Speaking of going over the circuit, let's actually go over the circuit, shall we? Because it's an absolute cracker of a circuit. And, you know, we are in northern Italy, so the weather is going to be pretty enticing. You've got Venice, you have the island of Sardinia as well, just off the western coast of Italy. Naples as well, a brilliant place to go to. But coming down to actual Monza itself, have a look at the actual circuit. There you go. Sectors 1, 2, 3. 1 in black, 2 in yellow, 3 in blue. All 11 corners. Not actually a very long circuit. It's only 3.6 miles, pretty much exactly. 53 laps, 18 for your sprint as well. First race all the way back in 1921, back when we had the old banking. Which we go underneath down that second DRS straight. You can see the 2 DRS straights there. Overtaking opportunities pretty much everywhere. But the interesting one is always going to be the run down into turn 1. Because it's a really long run and a heavy braking zone. And it's a very, very tight, complex corners. So, you know, this is just 10 cars from RFL a couple of weeks ago. Imagine 17 barreling their way through into there. That is Monza. Brilliant stuff. And would you believe it? It's raining. I don't think anybody expected a wet sprint, but I don't think we really have the right to complain. It does, however, mean it's going to make overtaking a little bit more difficult when it comes into it. Not impossible, but also the run into turn 1 is going to be a lot more interesting. Who's going to be that latest daredevil on the brakes at the start? Race director, what we're looking at, it looks like into tyre conditions, so we could be seeing a wet to dry sprint. Now that would be something to keep an eye on. As what are we saying? Anybody else have 40% ERS? Scar had problems with ERS. Alex was sideways at one point. He's not sure how he got 8th. Preset 5 is not good. Unlucky for Finns there. Unfortunate stuff. Anybody else putting anything in the Discord? No, other than me, Rookie, and Scar spamming GIFs a little bit earlier on. Doesn't look to be that way. Okay, cool. Good stuff. But yes, this is round 1. And it's sort of a replay. I know. But due to, again, technical difficulties last time out in the Circuit of the Americas, we've decided to sack off the Texan circuit and come to Northern Italy for round 1. I don't think really that's much of a complaint because Monza's just a great track in general. What's the calendar looking like? They released an updated calendar early, a couple of days ago. Okay. Monza, which is still a sprint, and then Zandvoort, Miami, Suzuka, Interlagos, and then Abu Dhabi, round 6, which is a sprint event, Hungaroring, and then round 8 in Spielberg as well, a sprint event. And then Silverstone, Monaco, Shanghai, and Portimao is going to end off the season at the end of June. So that's how it's looking as it stands. As everybody's just sort of warming up. Everybody on the intermediate tyre, as we expected. We don't expect anybody to come into the pit lane. However, if safety cars come out, could be quite interesting. I don't know what the weather's looking like. But assuming it's a dry race, 1 or 2 of these drivers might be inclined to use an extra set of inters and say, sod it. We can play at the gamble a little bit. Think of Kota last week as sort of your pre-season test bed as such. But that's just pre-season. Pre-season doesn't really matter until you start turning a wheel at round 1. And this is where it's going to all kick off. 17 drivers, most if not all of them, vying for a title. Everybody's going to have a personal goal, whether it is to be win a race, or get on the podium, or do better than I did last season. Everybody's going to have a different set of objectives. And they're all going to come to clash today. 17 drivers in the wet. First wet race. First race of the season, proper. And it's absolutely chucking it down. Not very far from the Italian Alps. Here in Europe. It's a gorgeous day in real life. It's not necessarily so much in game. All 5 lights are coming on now. Are we ready? Let's get at it. We're underway here in Monza. Looks to be a pretty good start there for one of the Ferraris. I think that's Jamie making up positions. Callum's taking the lead already as Jamie's now going up against Scartrix for third place. It's 3 wide a little bit further back. Spin. Off goes one of the RBs. I think that might have been Alex who's gone off a little bit. Contact, I think, between Jam and Nick Fury. There's 3 wide a little bit further back as well as they all barrel their way through the Rettifilio chicane. Looking on at 5th and actually 5th, 6th place. We're on board with Jam, who's just been overtaken, I think, by Nick Fury. Angelo in 7th place, not very far behind. In fact, he is right there. Is that Angelo? That is Alex, not Angelo. What's happened to Angelo? There we go. He must have gone off through the Della Roggias. Now he is at the very back, unfortunately for him. And worth also mentioning, it's top 10 points, not top 8 points as you normally do in F1. It's top 10 that get your points. However, the big point pickups are going to be obviously at the sharp end of the field. Got really close there between Callum and Vapid, under braking for the first run into the Ascari. No move into there just yet, but maybe a little bit later on in the race we could see a very daring dive into there. Down the inside into the Parabolica goes Nick Fury. Can he hold that position? Or is Scartrix going to keep the outside line? Yes, he does, just about. You really want to go around the outside through there because, well, that's mainly the racing line. You go as far out as you can to, again, line of least resistance is the important thing through there. But they're barreling down towards turn 1 once again. Any opportunity for a move? Not quite. A little bit too far away. In the wet option for 9th place Crito, who had a little bit of a technical difficulties while coming into the lobby, but thankfully he's a-okay, and we're back, and he is underway here in the Alpine. Could be looking for a move into the Della Roggia. Had a great run out of the Rettifilio. He's got the outside, but has not got alongside into what is turn number 4 and 5. Everybody's keeping a little bit line astern. A bit of a dive there, I think, from Gary. No, not from Gary. From Small Girl on inside and inside down the inside. Into the Lesmos. Not often you see a move into there. Can Small Girl retaliate in the RB? No, not quite. Stays in 14th place. Again, no points as it stands. But there's a change in the lead. Callum and Vapid side by side into Ascari. And like I said, maybe not in the first lap, but on the second lap, we did see a move into Ascari as well. Crito, and round goes Fins. What would have been a championship contender, I think, has gone off and potentially beached himself there. He's had to reset the track. No, puncture. So it's not a beach, it's a puncture. Right, okay. I think he's allowed to do that, but again, I'm not the steward, so I'm not going to say if he is or not. Callum coming back on to Vapid. Vapid on the outside. Can he hold it, or is the inside line into the first corner going to be better? Vapid's got the switch back here, and they both go off track. Jamie's got a great option, and here he goes. The man who's just moved to Ferrari is making moves at the home track of the team. And now these guys are squabbling for second. Who's going to have the position? It's Callum, who's got the advantage into the Della Roggia. And it looks like he's going to keep it. So it's Callum to second place overall. Hasn't actually changed position. But Jamie, a massive pickup from third to first place. Great stuff. I don't think anybody thought that was on the cards coming into that. And yet here we are. That is not to say that it is a complaint, because it absolutely is not, as Fins is in the pit lane for a new set of tyres. Had no real other option, as the top 7 are really close on with the chopper cam. Through Ascari, a great piece of track. For you, all of you MotoGP fans, similar to the sort of, I think it is also 8, 9, 10 at Termasteria Hondo. I also love that. In fact, I love that more because there's a little bit of elevation. And I do love me some elevation. Inside to 11th. Could be going after 10th place very soon. That's your position changes as well. Inside up 6 after starting at the very, very back. Credit to the Red Bull. The other Red Bull not racing, it looks like. As I think, is there a change for 5th place? Yes, there is. In fact, there's a change for 4th place. As Alex down the inside on Scartrix. They're still too wide. Are they going to go off the track just like we saw from the lead during the time of Calum and Vapid, no, they're not. And Scartrix has managed to keep the position for now, but they've lost a good amount of time. They're over a second behind Vapid and Co. So I reckon at the moment it might be best to work to pick up the time back instead of trying to go after positions and fight after it, because it just doesn't really seem worth the time. Also probably better for your sprint long term, as we've got Jam pulling out of the slipstream to go round the outside possibly of Nick Fury into Ascari. Is he going to be able to hold a position, or is Nick Fury better on the brakes? Yes, he is. He's up to 6th place. Well, he stays at 6th place. Does Nick Fury jam down 4 after starting in 3rd place? He's got a great run through Ascari here, and on traction goes the Ferrari. So both Ferraris picking up positions at the moment. Jam, yes, he is down 3 overall, but he's picked up a spot on Nick Fury and could easily now go after just Alex as well. 3-time current champion, well, so far only champion here in UCR. Riz the Rain maybe letting off. Those fastest laps are getting faster and faster yet. So maybe last couple of laps we could be seeing dry tyres as the change in lead again, with Callum taking the position away from Jamie. Vapid in 3rd place. Yells in the 1st sector, who's going down inside. Seems to have struggled. There's a whole... Is there a massive chokehold into there? No, I think it was just inside. Making a bit of a boo-boo through that first chicane. Very easily done, mind you. As Angelo also fighting for 11th place ahead of Crete now. As Creto picks up 3 seconds. The first man to pick up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Your Robbie given an excellent opportunity to go after Gary here. As he seems to have made a mistake through the Della Roger. In fact, he's gone wide into the first Lesmo, and he doesn't fight the fight, but Angelo is right there to pick up the position. If anything happens, what does your Robbie do? Well, he's got to go for it now, surely, and he does. Where's Angelo? Is he going to wait? He's going to pull into the slipstream, or is he going to dive into Ascari? No, thinks better of it, does the Italian. In also his home race, I believe also his closest race, because he is a Swiss man. As Finns puts in the fastest lap of 29.3, we're on board with Angelo fighting for 10th place and the bottom of those point scoring positions. Remember, it's top 10, not top 8, as Angelo does go down the inside, and Gary having nowhere to go, forced wide, and could lose another position as well to Crete. And Small Girl ahead, as what does Gary do? Gary's coming in, and so is Crete, as there's a change in lead, as well as Jamie has retaken it after the first couple of laps. What do these guys do here? Change of front wing for Gary, and a fresh set of tyres, I think. Still, pardon me, still the Inters at the moment, though. There's a change in lead once again into the Della Roger. Callum down the inside. Into that first apex of the chicane. Nicely done. Vapid now option into Lesmo 1, not really alongside, so can't quite pull that off. But this top 4 battle could get quite interesting. Scar is not one to back down from a fight either. Expect him to sort of, you know, what's the word? Poke the bear, I think is the best word to use for it. Up to Ascari we go for the 6th time in this sprint race. Keeping it through slightly deep is the second Ferrari option for Nick Fury to make a move. We did see Jam do this very move on Nick Fury, but Nick Fury can't quite pull that off this time around. Closing though is Creto the Greek. Ooh, he's just about holding the inside. He could go up the inside here. Problem on traction for Nick Fury. There's also a possibility for a change of lead. In fact, yes, there is. Jamie right ahead there on the left side of your screen. Meanwhile, Nick Fury is still trying to defend from Creto. We go on board with the Greek. 201 was the max speed in miles an hour. Don't quite know what that is in kilometers. Nick Fury still holding that inside line. Wide goes Creto, and now on traction, really pushing that rev counter. And Creto is up to 7th place. Good stuff from the Alpine. I think this is his... Okay, he did do the race last week, but this is his, I believe, official debut, assuming things don't go wrong. Jamie back in the lead once again, as Callum and Vapid and Scar are going to try to fight him off. Alex as well, not very far behind. In fact, he is right in the middle of this. So could be quite interesting. Alex Alex has not really made a move yet. Maybe he's waiting for an option a little bit later down the road, where he has a better option. I think it's probably the nicest way to put it. Let's leave it at that. Jamie struggling a little bit through Ascari. Calm's closed in about half 10th there. So yeah, we are talking about very, very, very fine margins. So there you go. Finn's 28.584. Your fastest lap so far. As was that a bit of a back end slide from Calum through parabolic? That doesn't happen very often, at least not without causing an incident. And down he goes on the inside into the Rettifilio. The first chicane here. Is he going to be able to hold that option? Yes, he will. Early on the brakes, but closes off that option and forces Jamie to take the worst line. And he's up to the lead at the moment. 11 to go here as we go through Curva Grande for the 8th time in this race. Once again, everybody sort of behind. These guys have sort of petered out a little bit. Gaps over a second outside of this top 6, which Jam is now involved in as well. Crito at his pace, I imagine he's going to be involved in this within the next lap or so as well. And we saw a couple of good moves from him as well, so keep an eye out for the lead Alpine, the lead McLaren behind. It is Alpine McLaren for 7th through 10th. Remember in UCR as well, it is top 10 that get points. So it would be double Ferrari, double Alpine, double McLaren points as well to start off the season in the sprint, as yellows are out through Parabolica. Fins has made a bit of a mistake, as was that Alex that could be losing a position here. I think it might be, as there's carbon on the inside of Parabolica. Actually, that's not exactly very safe. Fins in the pit lane, as Jam we're on board with. Does he? Oh no, he's not. He hasn't got quite the pace. He's lifted off the battery as well. Or is he going to go for it on the brakes? No, he doesn't. And down into Apex 1 and 2. He is staying in 6th place as it stands, but a good amount further behind than he would have hoped from the lead pack. Callum in the lead though. Into Lesmo's 1 and 2. Gary fastest, 28.2. Remember, we saw low 20s in qualifying. So again, this shows you there's a lot of pace differential. Crito in the midst of this battle as well now. So it is between your top 7 for first place and for, you know, limited points. Let's put it that way. As we swing our way into the Ascari chicane. They go right to that driver's left-hand side, our right-hand side from this camera's point of view, and we send it into Curva Alboreto. It's going to be 9 to go as we cross the line. We're going to pass halfway here. Who's going to be trying to break the slipstream? Vapid very close for a move on Jamie, but they're all closing in on Callum. Is Jamie going to go for the opportunity into turn 1? No, a little bit too far away is everybody to make that move. Everybody's sort of biding their time, waiting for that perfect opportunity to go for the move into that first apex. On board with Jamie now. Gary fastest lap, 103, slowest lap, slowest miles an hour through the first Lesmo there for the Ferrari. First home race for the Ferrari now that Jamie has come through. So I'm just organising a driver interview with Fins to see what's happened. As hopefully we'll be able to get his point of view. And there we go. Right, we've got the driver interview coming here. As hello 1212 Fins, hello. Oh, hold on. This is fun. There we go. Hello.
Hello.
There we go. Sorry, bit of a problem with Discord audio output. How are you, my friend?
I'm alright. Not my brightest moment. I looked away from my screen for it. Well, it all started in quali when.
Well, I was about to ask. Yeah,
look,
what happened in quali?
Yeah, I did not see that it was a one-shot quali, so I went and did something, came back and saw that I was in the wall and had been disqualified. So, I'd be starting from the back, and then had some pace. What that also meant is that I was on a preset setup, which is not very fun.
Yeah.
Especially when the preset is 0-0 wings.
Yeah. I imagine in the rain that's not going to be all that effective.
No, and yeah, in the race I had pretty good pace, and then looked away for 1 second, and that 1 second happened to be during the kink on the back straight, and yeah, I didn't even hit the wall that hard, didn't pick up front wing damage at all, but it gave me a rear right puncture, and yeah, I spun off, got stuck in the grass, had to reset and had to crawl back to the pit lane, and spinning in the grass somehow gave me underfloor damage as well. So just a nice little combo, and yep, hopefully the main race goes better.
Yeah, Jamie just taken the lead. Callum's trying to fight back through the first chicane into 1 and 2, but can't quite manage. Jamie leading as well with 7 to go. What happened in the race? Because you pitted for fresh inters. What happened there? Oh no, wait, you were beached at Ascari, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How did that come to cause?
Well, I got my puncture, and then I pulled to the left, so I didn't stop anybody. I was controlling the car, and then I went into the braking. You know how there's the 2 stages of puncture? I was just in that first stage of puncture, just holding on.
Yeah.
And then just as I was going to turn into the corner, the second stage hit, and it just spun me to the inside, and I just could not move.
Was the puncture caused by anything in particular?
Yeah, I just hit the wall on the straight.
Fair enough. Fair enough, I suppose. Any hopes for the race then? I know you're on a preset, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but
luckily you can change your setup between sprint and the main race.
Oh, hallelujah for that, I suppose.
Yeah, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's where the big points are found, so hopefully I can pull something off.
Oh, Callum for the lead here. On the inside into turn 1. As well, further back, Alex for 4th place. Finally, he's made a move. And both of them have actually been secured. So first for Callum and 4th for Alex. One more question before I let you go. Who do you think's going to win the sprint?
That's a hard one. It's going to be one of those top 3. Actually, you know what? I'm going to say...
If I had to press you for an answer.
Alex is going to be in the fight. I'm going to say... Jamie.
Jamie. All right. Okay. Brilliant stuff. Well, thank you very much, mate. Go get a cup of coffee to wake you up or something. I don't know. And we'll... well, yeah, obviously completely opposite time zone, so you'll definitely need it. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But yeah, cheers, buddy. We'll hopefully speak to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, take care. That was fun, wasn't it? That was Finn's there. Early retirement due to punctures, and also a bit of a foiled qualifying session for him as well. Jam up to 5th place, probably on traction out with Ascari. Scar's trying to take the wide line, pick up a little bit of extra pace as we're on 5 to go here. We're on board now let's go on board with Scar. Oh, thank goodness for lag. Jamie's going to take the lead. Scar isn't going to be able to fight for 5th place, or is he? Not under braking into turn 1. Jamie's got the inside through turn 2. Now who's got the better traction here? Inside on Curva Grande does usually help. Vapid as well, trying to force himself on the inside. Alex looking for that move, fishing for that move, and has actually got that move from what it looks like. Or is he going to fight? He's fighting for third place at the moment. He could be going for second here. Or is he going to be forcing Jamie to take an unfortunate line into the Della Roggia? Scar looking for the option on Jam for 5th place. But great stuff from Alex. I didn't think really that was on. Krito's hit the wall. Out of the 5 for the lead, but he's still in 7th place. Not bad in general for the group, but that just does, however, mean for us. The fight for the lead is down to 6. And Krito picks up 3 for track limits as well, so he's on 6 seconds. That's what your penalties are looking like at the moment as well. Jam looking for it. Oh, not quite. Not quite close enough. He's 3 seconds on penalty as well, so he's going to lose at least 1 position. Possibly 2. Well, no, he's going to lose 1 position at the moment. As things stand. Opportunity for Vapid to fight for 4th place here. Into the first chicane as Krito has retired in the pit lane, it seems. Yeah, because he picked up 10 seconds of speed in the pit lane. There's a contact between Alex and Vapid as they fight for the bottom step of the podium here. Traction race out of turn 2. Who's got the inside through 3? Alex almost forced on the grass there. Could be losing the position. Bit of carbon fibre. Looks like possibly flew off maybe from Alex's front wing there. As we come down towards turn number 4. And it is Vapid that's still going to have the position. Has Alex got all of that front wing? No, he doesn't. Yeah, he's lost that right-hand front wing end plate. So that is going to lose him a good amount of time and could easily drop him down to 6th place on track, which may be 5th place on post-penalties. Once all of that is handled, as Callum and Jamie are getting really, really close. Jam again into Ascari, struggles. Bit of a DRS train is slow. Well, it's not really DRS train because there's no DRS. But there's no rain either, from what it looks like. No, there is. There is rain. I thought there wasn't rain because the wide camera shot wasn't showing any, but it's still raining. Dry line is forming though, with 3 to go in this race. I know it's not particularly the best case scenario for some of these into tyres, but it's always worth a mention. Fight for 5th place. Well, fight for 4th place as Jam's going to try and get up the inside into first chicane. No can do for the Ferrari. Well, no's going to have to do, because he hasn't really got much of another option. And now he's got Scar up his inside, who's got the better speed and pace. Looks like Scar with that inside line has actually picked up a lot of time. Jam going really, really wide through Curva Grande. He's picked up that position for now. I mean, Jam likely will lose another position as well to Angelo as they come into the final couple of laps. There's a fight for that's not what I wanted. There we go, that's the button that I wanted. Scar up to 4th place on the inside, holding that position still. We're on board now with Alex running down towards Parabolica. Who's going to have the advantage? Alex has the inside, but we've seen the outside work really, really well through there, but it's not worked too well for Scar, and through goes Jam out of nowhere. Holding that inside line, that shorter line, and Scar's going to pick up 1. He could pick up 2 positions here. He's not really boxed in either. He's got the run down towards turn 1, and he's got the inside line. Is he going to be able to hold it under braking though? Yes, he does. Smidge bit of contact, but we're all okay. Scar up to 4th place. Credit to you, Scar. Very, very nicely done from the South Coast man. South Coast? I believe he's down south. Well, down south from me, and I'm from London. Well, from living. A lap and a half to go here in Monza. Don't forget, we've got a 53-lap sprint race to come at Lesmo 2. And down under the old banking we go once again. Oh, Jamie's not quite close enough for an opportunity, but there's still a couple more spaces. You've got the Parabolica here. Traction, well, you might have it on here. But that does also depend on how much he wants to screw with Callum's and his own, actually. Exit onto the front straight for the final full run. As we start the final lap, final 3.6 miles to go. Once they cross the line. And Jamie does take the lead, but for how long, I wonder. Into turn 1 and 2 we go once again. Callum's not quite been able to send it, not really close enough. Angelo within a second of Jam as well, so Jam likely to go down to 7th place overall. Vapid in the middle of this as well. He could be a very, very late dark horse to pick up a spot, but really he needs to overtake Callum through the Lesmos if he wants to make a move for the win, because otherwise he's not going to be able to into Parabolica realistically. Not impossible, we've seen this be done there a few times, but realistically, it's highly unlikely. Further behind, fight for 4th place. Scar, Alex, Jam, Angelo now sort of in it as well, as Vapid is going to look for that move into Ascari. Blocked off by Callum. And now the all-important traction race. Who's going to have a better run? Callum went on the curbs there a little bit, so could be losing a bit of time to Vapid as well. The Ferrari round the final corner. Is he going to be able to ride the prancing horse home to a sprint victory? He comes out of the final corner. It looks pretty safe and secure. Jamie wins on sprint debut here in Monza. Callum 2nd and Vapid round out the podium. As Scar in 4th, Alex in 5th as well. Angelo, Jam, your Robbie, and Small Girl and Rookie will round out the points scoring positions. Unless, can Gary do something here? No, not... Oh, very, very close to contact. Could have been much, much worse between the two of them. Thankfully, only a couple of pixels separated them, and it was enough to not cause a major Midlands incident. As Gary misses out on points in the first proper sprint, proper race of the season. Nick Fury in 12th and Inside as well in 13th place. For a wet sprint, I don't think I can complain. That was actually pretty good. Actually really, really good. So, you know, if this is what we're expecting from a wet race, a dry race is bound to be even better. Gary finishes there in 11th place. Jamie saying at Vapid, at Callum, that was flipping epic. As well, let's not look at the points, let's look at the results from there. Jamie picks up 10 points, Callum 9, Vapid 8, Scar 7, Alex 6, Angelo 5, Jam 4, Robbie 3, Small Girl 2, and Rookie on just the single point. That was a great sprint overall, a lot of moves, and as well in a couple of places I didn't expect. I don't think we quite saw a move into Lesmo 2, but that is, if we see one tonight, it's going to be an absolute cracker. War qualifying and race action coming your way. 53 more laps of Monza to come, don't go anywhere. As we've got dry qualifying once again, this time a little bit of a sunset, slightly more picturesque, I think would be the right word. More picturesque values. Word, even, as the safety car's going out for its sort of preliminary lap or something. I don't know. Oh, Gary's just had a power cut as well. That is very, very unfortunate. Oh, that is really unfortunate. Christ. I can't particularly say that I envy him might be the right word. And yet Gary is done for tonight, according to himself. I'm just reading through the Discord just to see if anybody's saying anything or something like that. Alex at Scar, how we went side by side after the second DRS train didn't damage each other was ridiculous. Honestly, insane. The fact that you're going 2x2 through a Scari, that is difficult just in general. And yet, they somehow manage. That's just speaking to the caliber of the actual drivers themselves, which is always a pleasure to see. Gary, power is back up, but not sure if my router will be ready in time. Hopefully it will be, as we do have, I do believe, another driver interview. We'll do it post quali. Right, we've got qualifying coming now. Who do we jump on board with? Let's have a look. Well, we're on with Scar again. I don't fancy. I love you, Scar, but not enough to jump on with 2 laps off you. Let's go on with the sprint winner, shall we? Show us how it's done. As we come down into the Rettifilio chicane. I thought he slightly outbroke himself there into the first chicane. Thankfully, not the case. It's a Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. Sending it into turn 3. Jam made a mistake seemingly on the exit of the first chicane, so he's dropped down a couple of positions into the Della Roger chicane. Very high speed chicane, but you can still overtake into there. We saw it a couple of times. Wide through the Lesmo a little bit is Jamie, but still keeps the lead as it stands. Vapid now in pole position contention at the moment. Callum climbing through the ranks as well. Finns hopefully this time will not bash the wall. Hasn't done so yet, so thankfully we might actually see a New Zealander qualify pretty highly. Not trying to throw shade at Liam Lawson at all already. I'm sorry, that was undeserved. Into the Parabolica, Callum. Finns now making that charge for pole position. Final real corner around this circuit into the Parabolica. Finns has got the lead out at the moment. Can Vapid maybe come in and overtake? No, it's going to be Finns that takes pole position by, what is that, quarter of a second, give or take? Jamie second, Vapid third, Cam fourth, and Scar Trek in 5th place, Crito 6th, Inside 7th, Robbie, Small Girl, Gary in 10th place. Whether that's him or that's AI, I'm not 100% sure as well. Jamie in 2nd place, as you can see. Starting on the front row, I think he's going to have the inside line, which I'm not sure you want to have realistically. As lower down as well, Joker, Crete, Rookie as well, from those that actually set a time. Nick Fury, Angelo Jam, and just Alex disqualified for a variety of reasons, likely due to, well, hitting, track limits, typically. 53 laps and a pre-race interview coming your way in a couple of seconds. Don't go anywhere. Speaking of pre-race interview, hello,
hey,
hello, Crete. How are you, my friend?
Besides the last sprint race, I'm doing okay.
Doing okay?
Bit of, yeah. What a horrible turn one, but
Talk to me about that sprint. How did it go for you?
since turn one from the first lap, I had yellow on the like floor,
Mhm.
and I had to do with that. Like I had a loss of grip, everything. So I eventually was like, okay, this car is undrivable. I'll hit it, and I'll just continue on watching the rest.
Fair enough.
Um, later on, I saw that Vince also DNF'd, so I was like, I can root for anybody else at the moment. So, that was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Um, for the rest, yeah, grip was just an issue. I don't know why. There's a lot of unbalanced parts for sure in the turn one. I just don't know. The car just likes to spin around there or the last corner.
Well, grip would be an issue. It is wet. It was wet.
Yeah, it was wet, but even then, even with qualifying, I was like, alright, there's no grip. I had no grip, and I'm hoping that it stays dry along as
Fair enough.
much.
Fair enough. What's strategy possibly looking like for the race?
I am currently looking at a one stopper,
One stop? Medium hard, hard medium?
a
Or
medium
not
hard.
telling? Okay.
I'm going for a medium hard. Maybe I'll go for a hard medium, but I'm not going to tell that for now.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Where's. So, this is your second full season now?
Yes, it is.
Any hopes for this season, maybe? Anything you want to achieve across the 12 races?
Um, less issues to be fair, cleaner, a bit more points. That's more of it. More time on the track, because well, I've been off here and there due to some family issues and yeah, some life stuff in general.
Yeah.
So I'm like really like into it, like for like a reserve coming in or like who is going to take that seat for for the week, and we're like, yeah, okay, let's have fun.
Yeah. No, I know what you, I know what you mean. One more question, and I'm gonna sort of slightly poke the bear a little bit.
Gotcha.
Who's your championship bets on?
I don't really know yet.
I know. I'm very much poking the bear, but it's early pickings at the moment. Jamie is championship leader.
Yep.
But who do you think you're gonna be going for?
I'm looking also to like last season,
Pardon me.
and seeing my teammate on like pole every goddamn week.
He's on pole tonight.
Well, yeah. So it's yeah, it's or of course be gonna be Finn. He's just a beast behind the wheel. Yeah, Jamie as well. He's just fast. He's apparently too fast for me.
Fair
But
enough.
yeah, I'll for now I'll give it to those two. Like of course, champion leader and the man on pole.
If
for like almost every week.
if I had to push for you to pick one,
I'll go for Finn's.
okay.
I have to.
Fair enough.
He's there almost
fair
every
enough.
week. So yeah.
Fair enough. No, I understand. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Right. Well, glad to have you back. It's,
Yeah, I'm happy.
It's been a while since we've had you in the comms box. Need to drag you back at some point.
Yup. True.
But yeah, we'll hopefully see you soon. Best of luck in the race.
Thank you.
As
I'll do my best.
well, I should hope so. Anything less than your best is not what we want here. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Take care, mate. We'll speak to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
See ya. Lovely stuff. Absolutely lovely stuff. Where have I been tagged? Why have I been tagged? Because Paddock Blue is on. Yes, of course. For anybody that wants to watch a little bit more racing, because why the hell not? After this, obviously, go to Paddock Blue. There is more GT action coming your way. It's the Ginetta Cup tonight. Ginetta Cup? Yes. Ginetta Cup at the Nürburgring. Tonight. So, as my thighs are sticking to my chair, perfect on a really warm Springs day here in London, where exactly I'm not divulging. As tyres, what we're looking like. Cree's gone for the medium hard. As I imagine most drivers have, it is typically a one-stop strategy around here. A couple of drivers going for the hard early on. Betting for a lot of late safety cars, I would imagine. Hopefully, the racing is as good as we saw last time out. No, not last time out. Literally half an hour ago. Less than that. So, you know, we'll see. We will slowly but surely see. As Finn's doing a really quick formation lap, as pretty much everybody else is under the old banking. Because of course, don't forget, this track used to, once upon a time, have an oval way back when. It needs to be all interconnected and stuff. For those of you that have something like Project Cars 2, you'll know very well what I am talking about as drivers are coming around now. The final corner. The final preparations are done. We've had a sprint, a bit of a mock race as such, but now it's time for the real thing. This is where your big bucks are earned. This is where most points are given. And we're going to see 17 drivers hopefully have at it for the whole of the race. I can't wait. I'm sure you can't wait. And it's going to be an absolutely cracking event. Don't go anywhere. All the drivers are lined up. It's time for the first race proper. All 5 lights are on here in Monza. And we're rolling away off the grid. Not a bad start for Finn's. Cracking start though for Callum, who overtakes Jamie. Struggling is the Ferrari. Finn's trying to defend from Callum. He goes to the inside. Callum around the outside. Off goes. That's a Mercedes off. That is Gary, who's just been sent off like Marcus Ericsson a couple of years ago. And we come through turns 4. There's turn 3 and 4. And what has happened there? Gary's been disqualified from the session for going the wrong way, and I can't really say I blame him. It's a virtual safety car. Holy mother of God. Callum's retired from the session as well. Who's been given penalties? Lord Joker, Small Girl. I think Callum picked up a penalty there as well. That was one hell of a start. I'm not quite sure what caused that. But we're here now. So, what I'm actually going to do there's a lot of I think discussion is the polite way of saying it. In the Discord, 1 or 2 drivers calling for a restart. I don't imagine we're going to have one. Full safety car is now out. Jamie leads the pack. Crito second. As a couple of guys have peeled into the pit lane. Finns is in. Scar is in. Nick Fury is in. Small Girl is in as well. And a lot of guys at the back. Through there. Crito in second. Vapid third. Alex fourth. Jam fifth. And then Angelo rounds out the top 6. Scar in 8th. Rookie ahead of him. Finn's 9th. Nick Fury 10th. But all these guys towards the back are in the pit lane, so we'll see how that all shakes out once they all come through. That was a very chaotic turn 1. And not many are happy. Well, maybe Jamie, because he's kept the lead. But beyond that, a lot of drivers are been a bit of a tiff. Let's put it that way. Lap 2, 53. A massive turn 1 incident, just like we saw, I think Marcus Ericsson a couple of years ago go off, be forced off the track on the inside through through the approach into the first corner. We basically got a replay of that. Ah! Gary, my apologies, everyone. My wheel hasn't synced properly with the power cut, and for that I cannot apologise enough. Ah! So technical gremlins befalling us still. I'll pop a message to Gary, see if he wants a... Just because I am curious. As we're coming through the Della Roggia, breathe. Let's take stock for a second. Jamie leads the pack from second place. Crito second. Vapid third. Alex making moves all the way from last place on the grid to fourth. Jam 5th, Angelo 6th, Rookie 7th, Scar 8th, Fins 9th, Nick Fury 10th, Screet 11th, Small Girl 12th, Robbie 13th, and Lord Joker 14th. Technical issues still before us. We're still on safety car conditions. I'm just trying to sort out getting Gary into the getting in for a driver's interview, so bear with for a second. Bear with me just a second. There we go. Good stuff. Right. Whew. That was one hell of a start. Right. Still a lot of arguing with a couple of these drivers about whose faults some later incidents were as well. As we've got Gary in the chat. How are you, my friend?
Not happy, mate. Had a power cut at the end of.
At the end of the sprint, I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, so I had a power cut, managed to get back in. My Fanatec didn't sync very well, so as I went into the first corner, brake pedal wasn't doing anything, and then the wheel snapped to the right, and pretty much ruined my fucking race.
Oh, yikes! Oh,
so
mate.
trying to turn the car around, the wheel wanted to go left, I was trying to turn it right, and it just, in the end, I just kept forward, and it disqualified me for driving the wrong way.
Yeah, that's really, really unfortunate, honestly. As we're back under racing conditions, let's not focus on the race too much. How was your sprint? Let's look at that.
I don't want to say too much on it because there is going to be a ticket in. So I don't really want to bash the driver involved, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
like, no names and stuff like that. I don't know if you caught it on stream or not, but yeah, it was a bit of a crappy move. I invalidated my lap, and I thought I was on for a corker. I was in for the one shot. I was in like flipping between third and fifth.
I was going to say, you were pretty high up for most of it, from what I remember.
Yeah, so going through the middle sector wasn't too bad. I lost a little bit of time through the Lesmos, and then coming up to Ascari, I just clipped, coming out of Ascari, just clipped the inside curb a bit too hard, hitting the extra bumpers.
Yeah.
It pushed the car outright, and I just ran over the edge, and that was invalidation. But I still did a very respectable 20.4, but it didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Though I would have been in like top 5, so to speak. So I would have been happy. But yeah, I started 14th, made my way up into battling Cree in 6th and 7th. I think it, no, 7th and 8th.
Somewhere around about that,
yeah, and then the move down the pit straight just absolutely obliterated not only my race but 3 people's races for a stupid move where there was space to the right of me. But hey ho.
Hey ho, listen, it happens, mate. Not your fault on that one, I think.
Well, yeah, I was talking to Jamie in chat because everyone wasn't happy, and I'm like, look guys, you know what I mean, I've just had a power cut. I've rushed to get back on, and I don't think my wheels synced up properly. And he said, you'll probably get hammered for it. And I says, look, I'm going to take everything that comes, but at the end of the day, you can't really blame me when I've just had a power cut.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to race to get back on.
Oh, sorry, fight for second place. Krito's got the move down the inside into Parabolica, force vapid wide, and now Alex is going to be looking to pick up the position here as we come down the pit straight. We're on board now, as he's going to have DRS now as well, but as is Krito, as is Vapid. We could be going 3 wide into the first chicane here. Vapid in the middle of the sandwich. Alex gives up the fight because he's thinking this is not worth my time. Vapid holding the inside. They're both forcing each other off, and through goes the defending champion. Krito picks up 3 seconds for cutting the first chicane as well. Sorry, you were saying?
Oh man, that's great. The fact that obviously Cree is where he is. He's a good racer. But yeah, it was.
Oh, Krito off through the Lesmos. Just about keeps second place, but you know, just about. Goodness me, I thought that was going to be worse.
I don't know, mate. I've literally come off the game off.
Are you not
I
even
would have
watching the
jumped
stream?
in. No, mate. I've just like pinned it. It's just one of those.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand.
If it just been like a general, right, I've crashed out, no problem. I'd have jumped straight in the stream with you and co-commed, but.
And I'd love to have you, but.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. But it's just one of those that I am not in a very good mood. Due to technical issues. A quick power cut as it was, but it's completely messed everything up.
Yeah, Scott on the inside on jam into that first chicane, picks up to 5th place. Krito as well, he's retired from the race pot. I reckon he's picked up damage from that run off the Lesmos. Because that was a pretty hefty sort of run at speed as well, so I don't know if he's picked up damage coming through there. Lap 8 53, 46 to go, I think, something like that. My brain's not in the right state to do maths, I'll be honest. Let's leave tonight's race. How are your hopes going into this season now that you're in the Mercedes?
I thought it was going to be all right, but I'm going to be down on points from the sprint because I've not picked up any points. I wasn't in the top 8.
I think sprint points is top 10, I'm led to believe.
I can't remember where I finished. I really can't.
I think you finished 11th either way.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, so
Yeah.
even then, I'm down on points. I'm now down a race, effectively, because of it. So all I want to do is just see if I can get as many points as I can, really, to be honest.
What sort of, if you had to set yourself one target for this season, what would it be?
Top 5 finish
Top 5 finish?
in the standings.
Yeah. Well,
See if I can finish up there.
knowing you as well as I do, I wouldn't have thought just one top 5 finish and that's enough for me.
Well, in the standings,
Yeah.
like after all 12 races and stuff, top 5. If
Yeah.
I make it back to there with a race down, well, 2 races down effectively, sprint and main race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hopefully grab that back. But
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
see how it goes.
no, but you know what I mean. Like one race top 5, and I know you well enough. You can definitely get that. You can get multiple.
Yeah, but they're already 2 races ahead of me. The people that are in the lead at the moment, and I've got nothing. You know what I mean? So
You'll make it work.
I'm going to have to work my bollocks off basically to get there.
You'll make it. You'll make it work. Don't worry about it. I know you will. You always do. Scar up to 4th place now, again into the first chicane. One more question, because obviously, you know, I do want to let you go. Who's your bets for the win?
I don't know who's left, to be honest.
Well, let me run you through it. Jamie's leading at the moment by about half a second. Finn's in 2nd place. Alex not very far behind either. 2nd and a half behind that. Scar, Vapid, Jam sort of in one cluster. And then 2 seconds behind that is Angelo with a penalty on his head. And then further behind is Nick Fury, then Crete in 9th place. Your mate Rookie right behind Crete in 10th place. Your Robbie 11th, Lord Joker 12th, and Small Girl 13th. Again, those 3 in sort of like one little cluster.
So Jamie's on for a good shout, to be honest. He did really well in the sprint. Between did you say Finn's was in 2nd?
Finn's in 2nd, yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely going to be those 2 battling it out. But then again, Alex is a dark horse, as always. Also, Scar can, if he puts it together, he can battle at the front. So there's my top 4, effectively.
There's your top 4. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be one of those top 4.
All right, fair enough, lad. Best of luck, and we'll hopefully see you next week, mate. Take care.
Yeah, I'm going to go chill with the missus now.
Yeah,
So I'll speak to you later.
you go have fun, mate. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for the time.
No worries.
Bye.
See ya. Love Gary. Do love Gary. Right, lap 11:53. You might have just heard the rundown. Looking at this battle for the top 3. Currently on the podium with Jamie Finns and Alex. Alex, obviously, Gary did mention Dark Horse. There is a reason he is a 3-time champion. And the only champion so far in the history of UCR. So, you know, keep an eye out for him as well. Vapid, very, very, very quick driver, we have seen. So, again, if he can get past Scar and get back up to this, he could very easily get involved in this battle for the lead and for what seems to be the eventual win. As it stands, as Finn's down the inside. Does he? Just about. He's holding on. Can he get that switchback, though? Oh, I don't quite think he's had that traction. No, he's not. Jamie had a much better run through that second corner. Better exit as well. So he's still in the lead, but the key question is going to be for how long. I don't imagine he's going to be able to keep for the whole of the race. Yells in the first sector. Looks to be for Joker, who's had a bit of a mishap in being the first chicane. He is back underway though, so we are A-okay. If you're Robbie, small girl, having at it now. 11th and 12th. Something of which I do believe is a familial affair. Because they are the pair of them, father and son. I'm led to believe. So always good to see families, see who wins the family duel, and I don't know, has to pay for dinner or something. Heavens knows what the tradition is with these lot. Finn's much closer this time around than he was last time. Lap 13 of 53, 41 to go, including this one. And Finn's does take the lead for the first time proper since he lost pole position. Vapid up to 4th place as well. We were saying, if Vapid can get past Scar and get close to these guys, he is very much in for a chance at the win here. So do not count the man out. Lord Joker retires in the pit lane. And that first chicane incident clearly did something to his car, because otherwise I highly doubt that he would be retiring in the pits. So we are down from 17 to 12 already in the quarter of the race, actually. Quarter is, what, 13? Yeah, once his lap's done, it'll be just under a quarter. That's a big rate of attrition here as Jamie's got great traction out of Ascari. Is he going to take the move into the Parabolica, or is he going to play a little bit of a DRS chicken? Alex is right there as well. Jamie's sort of been forced through. I don't know. The thing is, I don't even know who's going to have DRS out of them pair either. So this is going to be quite interesting. We come across the line. The DRS point is shortly after. And he's got the time though. He's going to be able to keep that position. I don't see them pair swapping positions. I do see, however, Vapid on the inside of Scar again. Taking back the position that he lost. Moment to go. Into the first chicane once again. Now the question is, can Vapid force himself and maybe drag that pack with him to get himself up to the front? They are 3 seconds back. It is very possible for it to happen. However, there's still 40 laps to go, to be fair. So it could happen. Albeit it does seem pretty, what's the word? Unlikely, especially if they're going to keep overtaking each other just like that. Scar takes the position down the back straight into Ascari. Not often you see that in real life Formula 1. That's not what I wanted to press. There we go. Goodness me. This is the fun about having 2 monitors. That's also not what I wanted to press either. Keyboard's having a little bit of a fit, but anyway, fight for the lead here. Finn's closing in. He's going to have the inside line here. Is he going to be able to keep that position for longer than a lap and a half? We'll see in a little bit. As yeah, quarter of a second between these three, something like that. Jamie trying to force his way up the inside into Della Rogia. That's not happening. Scar again defending from Vapid. They're closing in a little bit, but they need to work together for all of this to work, so that they can close in and pick up those extra positions. I'll be honest with you, I think we had better racing when it was wet. I am slightly hoping for the rain even to come down a little bit. One can Imagine. Into the it's not even Parabolica anymore, it's Curva Alboreto. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind it, but it just doesn't feel right as Jam and Vapid having at it. Fins in the pits. We're on board. Hards to the end, maybe? That's a set of medium tyres. Or is it hards? I can't quite tell from this distance. It is a set of hards. Run those to the end. Could do. He is in relatively clean air as well. He doesn't necessarily need to fight too much. So this seems to be a pretty good position then for Finns. Question is, will it work? No guarantee. Through Scurry, these leading pair go fight for third now as well. What probably will be net fourth once pit stops are considered, allocated, etc. As Alex and Jamie take the lead. Well, Alex takes the lead from Jamie. Very good friends those pair are. So, you know, very respectful racing as we usually expect. Remember Vegas, I think, in Season 2, where they were fighting for the sake of fighting. I'm not complaining, I'm just stating, do you remember the 21st night of September? Within half a second now as well. Might go... No, not really. He's lost time there as well. Oh, Christ. Sorry, got a little bit distracted with Discord there. There's Parabolica again. Oh, right, Jamie, let's see what you've got, shall we? Oh, we're on board. And he's got the position now very easily into the first corner. And he's got the position gained. He's up to the lead for now with the prospective championship leader. Scar leading the pack, Jam behind 3 seconds track limits. Penalty. It will be saying for multiple warnings, it typically is for track limits. And they can't be served during the race, they have to be served post. As Alex retakes the lead into the rest of Felia, they're just going to be chopping and changing positions, as well, to be fair, as they often do. Let's have a look at this family battle here. Can the son close to the father? Or is the father going to have the advantage so far? No is the answer for small girl. So they have to stay in 11th place. You'll rugby into the top 10. By the way, it is a top 15 points format. There's a position change for 7th place as well as Nick Fury's actually gone off track there. Back a-okay. Any damage on that McLaren? Not any that's visible. And no, he's forcefully trying to DNF himself. Not quite sure why. When he could just very easily just pull into the pit lane and retire if he has to. But okay. I suppose. We'll keep an eye. Just in case. So we don't want anybody to try to force a safety car or anything like that. He's coming into the pit lane now, and I imagine slowing down. So probably just a new front wing, etc, etc. Fight for the lead here, lap 20.53, 34 to go here. You're live on International Paddock Standard. Don't forget we've got International Paddock Blue with UCR Race. This is UCR, this Paddock Blues with ERL. They've got the Genetic Cup at the Nürburgring. They've got more racing tomorrow night on there as well. I believe they've amended the Lamborghini Super Trofeo series to be more of a DTM-esque kind of thing. So keep an eye out for their Paddock Blue tomorrow night at 9 PM. Tomorrow night at 8, however, RFL are back as well. I should be there. I'm not quite sure where. Let me find that out for you all. Tomorrow is the 12th of April, so it will be in Bahrain for the 13th round. Why? I pressed the Windows button. Why did you do that? I accidentally pressed the Windows button. Come on, man. Why do you have to be like this? Huh? Christ on a bike. Right, all possible change for third place as Jam gets past Scar. Under the bridge, they're closing in a little bit. And Finns is using those new tyres to great avail, actually. What's the gap? 17 seconds. Yeah, that'll give him first place by a couple of seconds, I reckon. Huh. Christ. Pardon me, as these pair keep having, I think Scar retakes the lead. Well, in this fight for third place. The lead itself, however, taken by just Alexander, Jamie O'Connor, Scartrix, Jam in fourth place, and Vapid, Angelo, Finns, Crete down to 8th, and then Your Robbie, Small Girl, Rookie License, and Nick Fury for your run down to 12th place. Don't forget as well, on Sunday night, it's Michael and Andrew for ERC Masters, I believe, around 5 on Sunday nights. And then Monday, got a brand new series that just started last week, live with Mike on Monday nights here on International Paddock as well, before we restart again on Wednesday. About to start lap 23, going to be 31 to go as these guys cross the line, and Scar and Jam have caught up pretty well, to their very, very own credit. let's see if these pair can pull away from the pair behind. So we'll go 3 seconds for track limits, and Jamie does take the position away from Alex. Up to first place as it stands. There is still plenty of racing to go, so we'll see what happens over the course of the next, what, 150, 180-ish miles maybe? Somewhere around about that number. It's 3.6 because it is exactly 3.6 times, well, it's going to be 30 laps. So 108 miles. I must have been thinking of kilometres. Times 1.6. Yeah, 172.8 kilometres. That was on the money. Right, let's see what's... Is anything happening in the Discord? So a little bit of arguing about what happened quite early on, and actually what caused Callum to be eliminated. It does seem like it's, well, somewhat being forceful into the wall. I'm not 100% sure as Alex retakes the lead on 30 to go here. It does look like he was forced a little bit into the wall, but I can't quite 100% confirm whether he did or didn't. Up to the Della Rosa chicane we go for the 24th time in this race. Don't forget, we did have a sprint as well about 45-ish minutes ago. That wrapped up here as well. 18 laps, because it is a third distance. And that was won by Jamie O'Connor. And but even then, I think as it stands, Alex would be championship leader coming out of this weekend. I can't quite remember where Alex finished in the sprint, but picking up those extra 5 points for first place instead of 20 for second is, I think enough to make that difference. But we'll see once the standings come out a little bit later on over the weekend. Around the parabolic of the final corner, in go the top two. Scarl takes the lead. Jam in second place. We're on board with Alex as he comes into the pit lane. RB's quite late. There's a Ferrari. That's where Jamie's going to be pulling in now. Alex a little bit ahead. Is there going to be any movement made in the pit lane? Off the mediums onto the hards. And they're behind Finns already. They were fighting Finns before Finns came into the pit lane. About 8 or so laps. 8 laps? 9 laps. Close enough. And what's the gap now to Finns? 11 seconds. They have 11 seconds to catch in 28 laps. Not impossible, certainly. Especially with fresher tyres, however. It is going to require an awful lot of things to go right for them. Or a safety car. Because then that will completely nullify any advantage that they had. Because then everybody's going to be up close and smushed together. Why did I use the word smush? I'm not 100% sure. Scar takes the lead for the first time in this race. Post to those pit stops, has led the first full lap this season. And I'm not counting pre-season in this. Well, it's not even a proper pre-season race. And out of turn 2, up to turn 3, we go on board with Jam. See how fast he's going through Curva Grande. Jamie and Alex are still having at it. They've lost time, so more than anything. And bottom out of 74, 73, just about miles an hour through the Della Rosa chicane. Let's go for a lap through here. 0.03 top out on the approach to Ascari, which is insanely fast considering you're allowed 70 miles an hour on the motorway. That's about 120, 130 k's for those that are that know kilometers an hour better. As Finn's now fighting with what could have been one of the race contenders here with Vapid, but Vapid seems to be coming into the pit lane. And he is doing exactly that. So Finn's with the net lead at the moment. Jamie and Alex behind. They've gained back the time that they've lost over the past lap as Jamie puts in a fastest 21.961. What's everybody else's fastest lap looking like? That's the button I wanted. Yeah, he's the only man in the 21s. Fastest lap before that was 22.3 by Finns. Jam very close, much closer than he was last time around. Because last time he was about 9/10, then he was 4/10, now he's 1.7 seconds away. You know what? I should not have said anything because otherwise he probably wouldn't have lost his time. Pass halfway though. In a relatively quiet race, other than a change of position here in the fight for 6th place. Crete, Angelo, and Robbie. With Smallcon not very far behind either, fighting for 6th on track. Two of these guys have got penalties, so if things do sort of go away, then... Ooh, but Crete's gone a bit wide, and Angelo's using that opportunity at his home race to make his way through. And I reckon he's going to have DRS as well, which is going to work really well in his favour. Robbie's coming to the pit lane. Or not. Crete is going to have the advantage. We're on board with Angelo. Crete is right there. He's going to hold the inside, and he's going to have a bit of a problem. Back end stepped out a little bit through that apex. As these pair are still fighting, they don't want to be fighting if they want to catch up to Finns, who has got an almost 13-second advantage on these pair. It's 26 to go. They need to be closing down more than half a second from now, because if they don't, there's no hope of winning unless obviously safety car. But with 12 drivers, most of them being pretty widely spaced apart, other than these pair, I don't imagine that's going to be the case. These pair could just be fighting for the sake of fighting. It's happened before, could very easily happen again, but then Scartrix is going to get involved once the pit stop comes into play. It does, however, depend on how long he's going to want to take out those hearts, because he has had them on since the initial safety car that we had on lap 1. And on lap 29, Jamie's going to retake 4th place away from Alex. Smallkill 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Very easily done, of course. Normally, yes, your pit lane speed penalty is just 5 seconds. However, that's not the case in this particular game. And that has been bumped up to 10 seconds to dissuade in-game drivers from, well, picking up that penalty and driving through the pits properly. Because that was the main concern for that one. Because if drivers were steaming into the pit lane at, let's say, 150 miles an hour, and then the speedo slows them down immediately to 50, right? That is an inherent advantage for those that go into the pit lane properly. And so on the face of it, a 5-second penalty might only be sort of 3, 2, maybe even 1, depending on the circuit. So, you know, there is that to bear in mind, as these pair are going to have at it once again. Let's go on board with Alex. and see how fast he's going to be going. 208, 209, 215, and not quite. We saw 214 there for a brief moment as he does make the apex. I was worried that he wasn't going to. Crete ahead of Vapid. As they're barreling it down the front straight. Vapid still trying to force his way at the inside. Thinks better of it, thankfully. Question for Vapid is more so not if, but when. Because he is a very, very pacey driver, and unfortunately to say, they love Crete to bits. Better than Crete. However, Vapid, Crete is not going to go down without a fight. Has he had more pace through into the Della Roggia? Well, maybe, but his back end stepped out on entry, so that was a pretty easy move there for Vapid. And up to 7th place he goes. Let's go back to the fight for 4th and 5th place. What could be the fight for the lead once the pit stops are taken into account and these guys can actually catch up to Finns, who's just started lap 31, 23 left to run. We're here next week in, well, I believe we're in Miami, right? No, it's Zandvoort, then Miami. That's the one. And thankfully for Zandvoort, Kieran's back, hopefully. Not that I am complaining, but it's always better to have somebody else with me in the stream. As round Curva Grande we go down towards Della Roggia for the 31st time of asking. Let's look down a little bit. Smaller than your Robbie. Let's get rid of the tyre info as well. Out the Parabolica on to start there, lap 31. And your Robbie does make his way past Small Girl into 9th place. Remember, it is a top 15 points paying positions. As Scar is in the pit lane now. See what he does. Trundling down that pit lane slowly. Curious question is going to be, where's he going to come out in relation to Jamie and Alex? On to another set of mediums, as I've just spotted a bug. You look like a moth. You'll have to bear with me just a second as I try to get rid of the moth. Close the window. Thank God. The toilet paper. Change in lead as well as Finns has retaken the lead. That's coming into Ascari. That's a pretty bold move. I imagine with new tyres, it made that job much easier. Well, newer tyres than Jam. Because I don't think has Jam pitted yet. I don't think he has. No, he's not. He's the only person to not have pitted. As Small Girl comes into the pit lane now. And Jam's actually come in now as well, so perfect timing. Jam in, onto a set of mediums, one would imagine. And onwards, Christian soldiers. Scar is not all that far behind, to be fair. I thought he'd be a little bit further behind, but seemingly not. It's only 7 seconds and 20 laps. That's doable. If he wants to get himself right in the midst of this battle. He's got Angelo right on his tail as well, which is clearly not ideal. However, always a pleasure to see Angelo. Angelo normally does Thursdays, but due to the ERC Thursdays being cancelled for this season, I've not been able to spend as much time with him, regrettably. as these pair are fighting once again. 13.5 seconds behind Finn's. I don't imagine they're going to catch up to the lead. They're going to need a safety car for it to work. I think Finn's strategy has actually worked really, really well. And to be fair, at least in the early days of F1 Esports, I don't watch F1 Esports, the actual series as much now, but in the early days of F1 Esports, that was your typical strategy when you had 35% race instead of 50. As Jamie and Alex are going to have at it once again. Alex goes down the inside. Scar takes fastest lap, 21.660. As we're on 20 to go now. One pretty common strategy was to go for soft for like 2 or 3 laps and then medium for the rest, because then you could make that early pit stop, not worry about it, and just leg it. Just use as much of the tyre as you want. And I reckon drivers were a decent fan of that. As they come across the out of the parabolica once again, on board with Jamie. See how fast he's going. One that hits 200 pretty early. Is he going to take the position? Yes, he is. Pretty standard move. But again, they're not gaining as much as they want to Finns, and at this point, it might be a little bit too late. And into Skyrim we go once again. Let's take a look at some of the other battles that we've... well, we've only really got one other battle at the moment, and that is these guys. Scar and Angelo. 6 seconds behind now. Scar catching to the pack for second and third. Both, granted, yes, have penalties, but it's only 3 seconds. It's not all that much. Angelo can't go for the move. Not quite there, not yet. Not close enough for that one coming through. So what's that? 17, 18 to go, somewhere around about that. We are closing into the end of this race. After a cracking sprint and a slowly simmering race, a couple of questions could be answered. I mean, can Scar close up to the pack ahead to maybe land himself on the podium, at least on the road? Maybe not post penalties, but podium on the road, I don't think he'd be too dissatisfied with that. Small girl, 6 seconds. Everybody else with penalty sitting pretty on 3 as it stands. But of course, there is still plenty of time for things to change. Starting lap 37, 17 to go. And Alex has taken second place from Jamie. Increasingly, these pair, I don't think are going to go for it. They need to be picking up a second a lap. the only way that I could see it happening is with a safety car. But these guys are pretty conservative, I think, let's put it that way. So I don't really see them actually going for it. But could very well happen. Who knows? Under the old banking. Oh, a few years ago there was obviously the centenary of Monza. Alex, 3 seconds for track limits. And he's closing, not into Parabolica, surely, no. Thinks A, thinks better of it, but also B, would probably lose the DRS if he did go for it into there. So there is that. As Jamie does, again, use the DRS and get past. No major troubles, major surprises there. Scar's not gained much past couple of laps. In fact, if anything, I think he may have lost a little bit of time there. But he's gained it right back. Picked up half a second over the past couple of moments. So maybe it was a temporary mistake, or maybe something to do with the game's timing signals being weird. Who really knows? 13.3 seconds the gap between first and second. And then Alex, we're looking on with this sort of lead pair battle, not for the lead, but for second place. Behind Scartrix and Angelo, 4th and 5th. Jam in 6th place, trying to catch up, because he has got 6 seconds worth of penalty, and Vapid is at 7. So a little bit too close for comfort, I reckon, for the second Ferrari. And then in 8th place, your Robbie. 9th place, Crete. 10th place, Rookie. And then 11th and 12th, Nick Fury and Small Girl. Down the front straight we go, starting lap 39. 15 to go here in Monza. Next up is Zandvoort. That's going to be an absolute cracker of a race as well. Alex into turn 1 he goes. Can he hold the position? He can. I thought I could fully see Jamie diving up the inside into the Della Roggia there. I would not have been surprised if that was going to be the case. However, maybe thankfully for his own car's front wing, he didn't do that. I know it's a circuit that's important about speed mainly rather than downforce, but you still need that front wing. You still need to be able to actually navigate through the 3 chicanes and the 3 extra real corners that we've got around this world-famous circuit at this point. Pardon me. Right, Jamie much closer this time around. Could he get the move and pull away? No, he couldn't. As a lap car moving out of the way, that'll be Small Girl. The first car to have got lapped. Nick Fury seems to have been lapped as well. Into the Lesmos. Difficult corner the Lesmos are, because they're named after one, right? They're 2 sort of distinct corners. You've got the first Lesmo, which is a much longer apex, sort of a slight bit faster, but you can really take it close to the wall and close to the curbs. That second apex is a slight bit slower, but it's much shorter. It's sort of its own little challenge in and of itself, and I do quite like that. Angelo move into Ascari. Again, we've not seen one of those in a good little while. Always a pleasure to see. And Nick Fury as well up ahead of Rookie. Probably would have had that position post penalties anyway. So it doesn't necessarily, oh Christ, matter all too much. Scar now closing in. He's got the inside and he's got the position gained on Angelo. Jamie in second place as well. So those pair of positions are going to sort of keep chopping and changing at this point because, well, there's a lot of chopping and changing to be done. Once again with these pair. Jam as well right on the back of this, and these pair fighting has just let the second Ferrari into this fight, but they've got to be, well, he's got to be careful. They don't really need to worry too much about the possibility of Vapid, but for Jam it's a 2.3 second gap, again possibly a little bit too close for comfort. If he can extend that gap maybe an extra half a second, I think he'll be happy with it. But I can't fully confirm for multiple reasons. Pardon me, mainly being A, I am not a racing driver. And B, well, Scar's just put in a faster lap. Alex has got ahead of Jamie. And Angelo's closing in. He's got the inside, he's got the move done well before braking. Into the Lesmos once again. Let's go on board with Jamie for a little bit. See how fast he goes down to Parabolica. 170, 180, 190. Doesn't hit the battery. Does he hit 200? Yes, he does. For a brief moment. But he does hit 200 now. Question is he going to make the move? Yes, he does. Without even the battery as well, which to be fair isn't a surprise. He was really, really close. But that move is done and made, and well, that's all she wrote really, isn't it? Looking a little further back, Scar up to 4th place. Angelo could be dropping back behind Jam as well as they peel into the first corner. 11 to go, including this one here. Goodness. Sorry, I've got something stuck in my throat a little bit, so you'll have to bear with me for just a moment now and again. Alex up to 3rd place at the moment. That's what your position charts are looking like. A lot of people making moves off the bottom end of the qualifying grid. Alex in 17th started, Jam in 16th. Angelo in 15th, now are 3rd, 6th and 5th respectively, which is insane stuff, especially given, you know, Monza's not typically the most overtake friendly place, let's put it that way. As Angelo has got past Scar now, that's coming into the first chicane. Jam must have made a mistake a little bit somewhere, because he's dropped back a little bit. Scar's got the inside into Curva Grande now, here we go. Here we go, this is an easy pickup for Scar. Question is Angelo going to fight it into the Del Roger? No, doesn't, thinks better of it. And maybe thank goodness for that. You can see the exhaust pipe and everything. I'm going to do something that Angelo's done to me before, but look at the rear suspension. Now, he normally does it through Kota, not through Monza, but, you know, far be it from me to be the pedant here. Into the final couple of corners. 9 to go for Finns. They're closing in a little bit of the lead pack, but they need to be closing in by over a second now if they want any hope of picking up that win for Jamie at least, because Alex has got that 3-second time penalty, so that is not going to do him absolutely any wonders. Scar defends by just keeping on the racing line. Angelo goes to the inside, picks up that position, so Angelo up to 4th place overall. Everybody's changed tyres since the start. I was wondering if anybody would take the... well, everybody's changed tyres since that first safety car. There we go. Right, Jam, 3 seconds for track limits. Angelo right on the back end. Jam as well. He's picked up the time that he lost a couple of laps ago. And now we're starting lap 46 here. This one could be quite an interesting one. These could develop. Obviously, Jam's got 9 seconds with the penalty now as well. And Vapid is 10.9. So again, we're talking about Vapid being a little bit too close for comfort. But Angelo picks up a position on Scar. Does Jam do the same? No, he doesn't. Maybe for the best, so that he's not constantly involved in a squabble for a position, so he doesn't lose too much time. If he can guarantee himself 6th, I think he's going to be pretty happy with that. The gap is, once penalties taken into account, 1.5 and closing over the past couple of moments. So, we'll see. We shall truly see. 46.53. Don't forget, tomorrow night, RFL at Bahrain. I should be here for that. Hopefully with someone else, maybe with someone else. We'll see if anybody else is antisocial enough to join me. But we'll see. We shall we shall see. Can't guarantee anything. One thing I can guarantee is these pair are going to be fighting for 2nd place. They've got Nick Fury, the lapped car, behind them, so they've already dealt with that possibility of traffic. As into the Parabolica Curva Alboreto we go. 47 of 53, 7 to go. And across the front straight, start, finish, straight we go. And into that first corner, no, we're not quite seeing a move into there. But keep an eye, because we do typically see one into there at some point. Into the Lesmo as we go once again. Out of the Lesmo, down the back straight. I'm about to call it the Retro Aposta, but that's not here. That's a completely different language. That's Interlagos. That's Brazil. That's Portuguese. Not English. Not English. Not Italian even. Looking at the battle further back, Rookie ahead of this 3-car battle. Jam again looking for a little bit of extra fresh air, fresh cool air, probably. Because again, like I said, we're not far from the Alps here, so could get quite interesting. We'll see. Alex picks up 2nd place. What about this front battle here? Angelo takes 4th. Does Jam take 5th? No, he doesn't. not under braking. Needs to get a little bit closer, I think, for himself. For his own maybe self-confidence before he does really go for it in a little bit. Coming into... Where are we? The Roger. They've got past the lap traffic of Nick Fury, I think. Well, no, Nick Fury's ahead. Oh, so it's Rookie and... There we go. It's Rookie and Small Girl behind. They're battle for 11th place. Again, top 15 get points, so this is a points-paying position. It's not like it's not going to be anything. It is still a point-paying position. That's the important bit. We're talking about Gary at the start of the race. The important thing is to pick up points. Beyond that, you can go from there, right? And here we go. Here's an option for a Small Girl to go up the inside here for 11th place. I know, just a singular point, but a point is a point at this stage in the race. You'll take what you can get to sort of get that championship challenge going, and down the inside goes Small Girl. So Small Girl off the bottom of the field. We'll see how long that lasts. Small Girl does have 6 seconds with the penalty compared to Rookie's 3 as we approach 5 to go. We are on 5 to go. Well, 4.5 to go. If I'm going to be a pedant, which I shall have to know. Ooh, pardon me. Finn's led this race since Jamie and Alex came in for their pit stops. And, I mean, I wasn't sure if that strategy would work. And yet it has. I've got to give credit where credit is due. Very good strategic play. And very good strategy from Finn's. Because pitting early, getting those hard tyres running, those fresh hards compared to those used mediums, that time advantage was clearly crucial. Because he had a 12-second, then it went up to about 13.5. Now it's down to a 10.5-second gap. It's great stuff from Finn's, and I think he's not going to be championship leader. Because Jamie's picked up 10 points from the sprint, and then if things stand as they are, he's picked up 20 points from the race, so he'll be 30, whereas Finn's is 25. So Finn's is going to be second in the championship most likely. However, I think he can still be quite proud of himself, given what happened in the sprint. To an extent, to no fault of his own, but not to a massive extent. These guys are barreling down the back straight into Ascari for the 50th time in this race. Yes, 50th. How time does fly. Are any of these going to be able to make that position? It is likely going to end Scarangelo Jam because of how the penalties stack up at the moment. But you can fight for fun as long as you don't come in within 9 seconds of Vapid. I think he'll be sorted. We're on board with Scar. ERC champion in his own right, and he's up to 4th place. Probably not where he would have wanted. I think he would have been on for a top 3 as Jam goes deep into the first chicane. I think he's thankful he didn't actually hit a car, because that was pretty close to hitting the back end of Angelo there. In fact, Angelo's got ahead of Scar now. So that is for 5th place. That was into Della Roggia, Christ. Fair dues. Lap traffic moving out of the way. That's Nick Fury, I do believe. 7.2 miles left for this man to take the win that he's so richly deserved. I mean, it was insane dominance that he had, let's be honest. So, you know, you have to give your hats off to him because he did a splendid job in this race. And I don't think he can be too dissatisfied with how it went. The only thing that I know he can be dissatisfied with is the very big mistake that he did in sprint qualifying and before that. So I think once he can sort of get past that, I think he can be quite happy with himself. Also, given the initial situation that he was in at the start of the race with Callum, that was a really, really close and really weird fight. Well, a really close fight here for 4th place on the road. And Angelo keeps the position to the Dalla Roger. Got really, really close coming into there. Jam as well, looking for that position gain on the South Coast man. As Finns is about to start his final lap of the race, as Alex picks up 3 seconds for track limits. So the podium does look like it's going to end Finns, Jamie and Alex. Angelo in 4th, Scar in 5th, and Jam in 6th. It's the final lap of the race here, and it's been a slow one. However, not to say it's been without its hiccups, especially at the very start of the race. However, we could still very easily see something happen through the next couple of moments. There is still a battle on the track, at least, for 4th place going on. Angelo, Scar and Jam, and I know that they'll want to sort of have a little bit at it for the sake of having a little bit at it. Because, well, if things stay as they are, Scar's going to overtake Angelo. Vapid's going to get close, but not quite. Scar's going to take the position on the road, actually. Doesn't need to take it post-race. He's going to take it on track. Which credit to you. Now, if you can close in 5 seconds on Alex, you'll pick up 3rd place. No, I'm joking. It's a tale of 2 stories here. A completely messed up sprint. A lack of attention in qualifying for the sprint. And now he's taken pole position and the win. What a comeback to start the season. It's Finns who's going to cross the line first and take the win here in Monza. 2nd place, Jamie quite far back. See what the gap is as he crosses the line. 11.3. Alex in 3rd place. Once the penalty is taken into account, he's on 6.6. Angelo takes the position. They're having a bit of a side-by-side fight, but it doesn't necessarily matter. But Angelo was technically ahead on track. Angelo up to 5th place. Sky in 4th, Jam in 6th. Vapid comes across the line in 7th place, and then it's just going to be Crete and Yorobi in 8th and 9th, and then Fury 10th. Smuggle 11th, and Rookie in 12th place to round out the rest of the runners. Right, the Parabolica comes your Robbie. Not far behind is Crete. Driver of the day. What am I going to say? I'm going to say Finns. That comeback. I'm sorry, from going from bottom to top, from bottom of the sprint to winning the race, I think deserves to be commended. Alex from 17th to 3rd as well deserves the commendation, as well as Jamie 1st in the sprint and 2nd in the race as well. Deserves at least some mention, but I think Finns is going to take it from me. But that's it from us here at International Paddock. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be in Bahrain for RFL. Join us Sunday night as well, where Mike and Andrew will take you through the Masters race to round out the week. I will be back maybe tomorrow, definitely Friday. Hopefully Kieran will be there with me, and hopefully you will too. We are in Zandvoort. That's going to be an absolute cracker of a race. I've seen a lot of very, very close finishes around there. So have fun, don't go anywhere, and we'll see you all soon. Take care, bye-bye.